Welcome to 4 delicious recipes I currently make on repeat. This does change from season to season and just based on how I'm feeling, but you all know me, it always has to taste extra good, as well as being simple and minimal effort required. To be honest, even when I'm stressed, I find some of these extremely therapeutic to make, and eat, of course. My sweet red pepper cashew pasta. Don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for seeking comfort from nothing more than a big bowl of pasta or spaghetti with pesto from a jar. I love that myself too. But when I do have time, I make my own fresh sauce because it just hits different, and this creamy, sweet, roasted red pepper one will become one of your regulars too, promise. You will need some red peppers. I love these Romano ones because they're extra sweet, but you can use regular ones too. I actually use both. Juice of 2 lemons, 3 fat garlic cloves, large white onion, essential for the sweetness. Onto a baking tray and tossing it in extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper. Can't stand oily hands, and like I always say, beyond that, can't understand people that wear rings and then toss oil with their hands with rings on. I feel uncomfortable just talking about it. And then into a hot oven for about 25 minutes or until things start to caramelize, become extra sweet, and you know what I mean. The garlic becomes extremely sweet when you roast it whole and then squish it out at the end. Okay, and now we need some good cashew butter. And by good cashew butter, I mean... See, that's the colour good cashew butter should be. More like white chocolate. Caramel at most, but the dark ones, nah, they're just fishy. But this one... And then all into a blender and blitz. Use a generous amount of the sauce. Trust me, the flavour will blow you away, and it goes with so many different things as well. Some parsley on top, I think. Okay, well, you knew one recipe was going to be dedicated to tahini, so here we go. My Herby green tahini sauce is honestly the best sauce of all time. For me to say that anything could be better than just pouring on pure tahini, you know that means a lot. It's thick, creamy, very sharp, and very few ingredients needed too to make this pop. Lots and lots of fresh parsley, lemon juice, garlic, proper smooth, runny tahini. Look at that. And some date syrup. Fat ass garlic clove. Yeah. It's huge. Oh, the satisfaction. Limone. And the pips can actually go in because it's a dressing. I think it's blended, so I actually don't give a fuck in this case.
I just baked a butternut squash for this video because it's all about the sauce. But it's also the perfect pairing too because the squash is very sweet for contrast. Some fresh chives to finish and apply to face. This one will be on your rota for life, I promise. I would call this French toast, but I know a lot of people will be offended. So I'm just gonna call it my coconut cinnamon fried sourdough bread, topped with all the good things, including lots of nut butter recipe. This is the best healthy comfort snack, breakfast or brunch of all time. We will be using some good sourdough bread. I like to use the seeded one. Banana, good nut butter. This is the mixed nutso one, which you can't actually get here.
Can't get this shit here.
But my good friend from the States sent me one. And I'm trying to make it last. Some ground cinnamon and coconut oil. You want to let it crisp up and let the cinnamon sweeten with the coconut oil, but we're going for crisp, okay? Crisp, not burnt. Yes, I am telling myself this from previous experiences of leaving the room while it was frying.
From what I remember, this is just like one of the best. Just like TJ's, which is the best. But it requires a bit of churning. Do you know that there's actually like a technique of, you know, those stiff peanut butters or almond butters or nut butters that are like so thick and separated with the oil, and it just seems impossible. There is a very quick hack to churn like a pro and get it done in a minute. And I feel like I need to reveal it to the world, but not in this video.
I also use some regular peanut butter, because I'm trying to save this really good one just for spooning. I mean, you can really go to town with the toppings. I also love to add some bitter, crunchy cacao nibs and a good drizzle of date syrup, which, yes, I am currently obsessed with.
They're quite big ones.
So I know it's a very cliche vegan thing to make and eat, but for me it hasn't been in my repertoire for like most of my time as a vegan, or just as a human. Unless I was traveling and got it in restaurants a lot. Anyways, we now make them all the time, but I take it a step further and actually bake them to make them crisp. So it's almost like they've been deep fried when you bite into them, just without the deep frying. Do you know what I'm saying? So we all know how to make summer rice paper rolls, but the fillings I love to use: sliced red bell peppers, carrots, cucumber, vermicelli noodles, so it's a kind of carb on carb action, which I love. Thinly stripped romaine, tofu, and of course, peanut butter. The fresh mint from my garden always hits different. This was Jill making the first one, because to be honest, she always makes them, and then I sometimes just bake them. So I was learning how to roll, and then I took over, and when I did, I added tons of peanut butter. Specifically, crunchy peanut butter for this. No, sorry, specifically salted crunchy peanut butter you will need for this. It's even better when you bake it as well, because it almost softens in the oven, so when you bite into that crunch, you get the runny peanut butter. Admittedly, the only thing that could make this better is avocado as well, but I genuinely couldn't find anywhere for 3 different stores, so. Then put them on a baking tray, and I put half on a baking tray because Jill wanted hers not crunchy, and into the hot oven just for about 15 minutes until they sound like this. And you need to eat them while they're hot because they will lose their crunch when you let them cool, which you don't want because then you'll just have to put them back in the oven.
That crunch.
So get something nice to dunk them in. I use some tamari, and then I also just use some more crunchy peanut butter. But anything can be good with these: sweet chili sauce, ketchup, vegan mayo, whatever you like to use as a dunk. Although to be honest, when they're crispy, they don't even need a dunk because you've got the oozing peanut butter inside too, remember, so. And that's exactly why I make these 4 recipes every single week, because it's not just a treat for the taste buds, it is for the soul just as much. Anyways, I hope you enjoy making and eating these as much as I do, and I'm sending you lots of love. Laters.